Ladies and gents, welcome back. The inquiry has been going on for a little while now. And, well, we've been hearing from the Freedom Convoy organizers this week. Now, I wanted to bring in some people to talk about what's going on with the inquiry, their opinions on what's happening with it, and, just their opinions on what the inquiry itself is meant for and what the purposes of it. And today I have special guest Maxime Bernier to talk with me. Hello, Max. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. I'm pleased to be with you.
So we've got this inquiry into, we're calling it the Rouleau Commission because it's actually mandated. It's part of the Emergencies Act legislation that within 1 year they have to have this inquiry and finish it and then file it and then bring it forward, and then it's ruled on whether or not it was justified. And so far, if anyone who's paying attention to it, they've realized that there has been no justification brought forward so far. And you were paying attention. You were actually one of the very few politicians in all of Canada to actually come out and join the protesters at the Freedom Convoy. Were you there when the Emergencies Act was actually declared?
I was there 3 weekends, and that day, no, I was not there. But you're right. I did rallies all across the country against the lockdowns, the draconian measures, and stay-at-home orders. And as you know, it's part of our DNA as a political party, our principle, our individual freedom and personal responsibility. So speaking about freedom of choice, that was natural for us. But yes, I was there. And for me, that was not a protest. That was a kind of manifestation, a kind of a celebration, because it was fun. And we knew at that date that something will happen because, people from all across the country were welcoming the truckers, and a lot of them came to Ottawa. And actually, we were right, because a couple of weeks after the Freedom Convoy, we had Saskatchewan that said, and Saskatchewan ended all the mandates, and after that, Alberta, and after that, other provinces. So the feeling over there was a nice feeling, a kind of a celebration, and not a protest. But as you know, the mainstream media and also the Liberals and Trudeau wanted to say, oh, it's an insurrection, it's dangerous for the security of the country. These people are all crazy and racist and xenophobe. That was part of the propaganda coming from the government and also the mainstream media. So I'm very pleased that we have that commission first. I'm very pleased also that the judge said, I have 2 mandates, because when Trudeau gave to the judge his mandate, it was not to look at the reason, and if Trudeau had a good reason to invoke the Emergencies Act. Trudeau wanted him to look at the Freedom Convoy, only the Freedom Convoy and the truckers. But the judge said, no, I have 2 mandates, and the most important one for me is to look in the legislation. There's a section 2 or 3, that is saying these are the reason to invoke that act, and the judge will have a decision based on that. So that's very good. And as you just said in the beginning, I strongly believe that, Trudeau didn't have any good reason to invoke that act, because if you read that carefully, it said if it's an insurrection, a war, or the life of Canadians are in danger. That was not the case. That was only a protest and people asking for Trudeau to give them back their rights and freedoms. So, and now this week we saw, and at the hearing we had the leaders of the Freedom Convoy, and that was great because they had an opportunity to speak in front the mainstream media and Canadians, and telling them why they were there and what they did over there. And so I think it was a good week for them, and we'll see what will happen. We are supposed to receive that report at the end of February. So I look forward for that, and I hope that the report will say what everybody that is listening to that commission, that they will say that Trudeau did that without any reason, and it was only a political repression, and so we'll see.
You are a skilled politician because you don't give me much window to jump in and give conjecture. No, I'll give you that. No, fantastic. But what I do want to ask, and this is along the lines of politicians, now it looks like they're not going to have justification. It looks like the Rouleau Commission is going to go in that direction. Now, they're going to have to do some sort of damage control along those lines. But the real question for Canadians is, can they just get away with it? Because this is one of these things where it's precedent setting, where a political leader has a protest at his doorstep. It's not nationwide. It's not huge in scope in the sense of being an emergency in real ways. But yet, if he just gets away with it, if this government gets away with it, then it opens the door for any political leader, left or right, in given a situation where they're doing something that's overreaching and the people say enough, they can just declare a state of emergency, lock people out of their bank accounts, and go forward with that. What is there stopping us after the commission?
But yeah, if the decision is what we think, and saying that Trudeau didn't have any justification to invoke that act, I believe it would be that. What will be the political impact for Justin Trudeau? I believe that he will have a lot of pressure coming from myself and the opposition, because he will have to answer questions. That will put pressure. I will ask for him to resign, and I believe that the opposition will do the same thing. But the challenge is, in that act, there's no teeth, there's no sanctions if you invoke the act and it's not in line with the reason, and there's no reason. We need to change that legislation. We need to be sure that if something and a politician is doing that, he will have to face consequences. Right now, the only one is politics. He will have some pressure, he will have some questions in the House, and people will ask for him to resign. And as you know, I'm pretty sure that Trudeau won't do it. But yes, you're right. There's no real sanctions, and we must change that act to be sure that, like you just said, we don't want another politician to use that, and it will be too easy if there's no sanctions. And but the pressure will be there, and we'll see. Maybe he will have to resign, but I doubt. Now with the NDP that is supporting Trudeau, the NDP may change if we have a good decision from that judge. Maybe also the NDP will have to have another position, and if they don't support Trudeau, we must have an election sooner. And
well, Jagmeet Singh has shown his support. He's told news outlets that he wouldn't get rid of his support, even in the face of Emergencies Act ruling against Trudeau in this. We all see Jagmeet Singh kind of at the end of his political career because of selling out his own constituency in favor of the Liberal Party. At this point, are you looking to gobble up some of the support from NDP, union, trade workers, things like that? Is that something you're focusing on?
You're right by saying, and now the NDP is a woke party, and that's not the NDP of Broadbent and other leaders in the past. And so they're not working for the workers. They're not. And we have some support coming from the people who voted NDP. Actually, I still remember when I was in Halifax during the last campaign, I delivered a speech over there, and after my speech, an old lady came to me and she said, "Maxime, I always voted NDP in my life, and that will be the first time, and I will support you because you have common sense policies."
Oh, I lost you, Max. It looks like Max has frozen up there at the end here, but obviously talking about his common sense policies as we go into the next election. I'm guessing maybe his phone died or something. Anyway, I want to thank you guys for tuning in and thank Maxime Bernier, for coming on and sharing his opinions about this inquiry as it's been taking place. Sorry, I haven't had one end like that yet. But leave your comments in the comment section down below. Let me know what you think of this whole scenario with the Emergencies Act, and also about the PPC party and Maxime Bernier. Leave a comment in the comment section down below. We'll see you guys in the next one. Keep on trucking.